One man revealed the secrets of American superpowers in broad daylight. In 2013, he stole over 1 million classified documents from the US government and exposed them to the entire world. For the past 11 years, he has been America's most wanted fugitive. But despite causing massive damage to the US, many people around the world see him as a hero. But why? How did he manage to steal top-secret documents from one of the most secure agencies in the world? Why did he leak them? And after all this, how has he managed to stay out of America's reach? Welcome back to our channel, where we uncover these shocking stories. The morning of June 6, 2013, brought a huge problem for the US government. On that day, The Guardian and The Washington Post published a series of shocking stories. These reports included leaked copies of highly classified NSA documents. The news didn't just stun Americans. It alarmed mobile users worldwide. People discovered that the US government had been secretly spying on their phone activities. These documents exposed a secret NSA program called PRISM, which revealed the full extent of the surveillance. There is a secret program that allows the US government to get private data from big companies like Google, Apple, and Facebook. They also have a special order that lets them access the data of millions of Verizon customers. Verizon is a mobile operator in the US. Leaked papers showed that President Obama wrote a memo to 18 subcontractors. In this memo, he asked intelligence officers to give him a list of foreign targets for cyber attacks. This was just the beginning of the leaked documents. The National Security Agency, NSA, hacked computers in Hong Kong and China. They also tapped the phone of Angela Merkel, the Chancellor of Germany at that time. The British government's GCHQ program also ran similar secret spying programs. 3 days later, a man came forward and said he was the one who leaked the secret documents. His name was Edward Snowden, and he was 29 years old. Edward had dropped out of high school and joined the US military, but after 1 year, he was discharged. In 2005, he worked as a security guard at the University of Maryland. Edward wasn't good at school, but he was really skilled with computers. Because of this, the CIA hired him. In 2009, a big tech company called Dell hired him to help with upgrading the National Security Agency's NSA computers. Edward worked as a supervisor on this project. Later, he became a cyber strategist. Edward was seen as important to both the CIA and the NSA. But then, everything changed. How did he go from being trusted to being called a traitor? It all happened while Edward was working on the NSA's computers. He found out that the NSA could access personal data from anyone's phone. He came across some records that he thought were of international criminals. But in reality, they weren't criminals at all. They were peaceful American citizens. At the same time, there was a big debate happening in Congress about intelligence and surveillance. Ron Wyden, an American politician, asked the director of the National Security Agency, NSA, James Clapper, a direct question on live television. Does your agency collect data on Americans? James Clapper, in front of millions of viewers, replied, "No, our job is only foreign intelligence." Edward Snowden, who was watching, was shocked. He knew that his director was lying on national television. He was so upset that just 3 days later, he quit his job at Dell, where he was earning a hefty salary of $200,000 a year. In 2013, he left Dell for good. Edward had worked for the US military, the CIA, and the NSA. While at the NSA, he was involved in various projects. The NSA later claimed that Snowden had taken so many files from their system that it was hard to estimate. Some said it could be over 2 million documents. So, how did Edward manage to copy top-secret files from a high-security agency without anyone noticing? Surprisingly, he didn't rely on any fancy hacking tools. Instead, he used something as simple as a small USB drive. But how did he pull this off? After all, most offices, especially ones handling sensitive data, are very strict about USB drives to prevent data theft. And it's not like everyone at the agency had access to all the confidential information. We're talking about the National Security Agency, NSA here, an organization with some of the strictest security in the world. But Edward Snowden had a plan. Before starting his mission, he carefully prepared for his escape. He was working on an NSA project through Booz Allen Hamilton, a major contractor. That's why he was stationed far away from the NSA's Maryland headquarters, about 5,000 miles away in Hawaii. Hawaii's time zone also played to his advantage. It's 6 hours behind Maryland, meaning by the time Snowden was working in his Hawaii office, most people back at the NSA headquarters were already done for the day. This gave him the perfect window of time to carry out his plan without raising suspicion. The second advantage Edward Snowden had was access to the NSA headquarters servers through an old, outdated thin client system. This system wasn't very secure. The third advantage was that Edward was a system administrator. This meant he had high security clearance, allowing him to copy data from any system without raising suspicion. He took full advantage of this power. In just 4 weeks, he managed to copy more than 2 million files from 5,000 miles away. As a system admin at the NSA, Edward had access to top-secret documents. He secretly copied all of them onto a USB drive. With clever planning, he hid the drive from the security guards, using his illness as an excuse to take leave. He then turned off his phone and fled to Hong Kong from Hawaii. When he did not return for a few days and his number wasn't being answered, the NSA started getting suspicious. They began searching for him. Then, one day, explosive documents he had handed over to the media made headlines around the world. These were the leaked documents from Edward Snowden, which sparked a global debate about the secret powers of the NSA. He was accused of stealing government property, breaking into national security systems without permission, and sharing top-secret information with unauthorized people. Meanwhile, the US government demanded that Hong Kong hand over Snowden to them. But Snowden had planned his escape carefully. By the time the US tried to capture him, he had already flown to Russia. Initially, he was granted asylum there. Then, in September 2022, Russian President Vladimir Putin granted him Russian citizenship. Since then, Snowden has given many interviews where he revealed how our phones are used to spy on us. He talked about a tool called Nosey Smurf, which allows security agencies to access our phone microphones. This tool lets them listen to the sounds around us anytime, without us even knowing. Some people see Snowden as a traitor, while others believe he's a hero who exposed the true nature of the NSA to the world. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and share it. See you in the next one.